Well, happy New Year to the new NFL season, new Green Bay Packer year. Nice to see everybody, all tanned up from today's weather. I'll take any questions you may have.
Hey, Rich, what did it mean for you guys to be able to keep Brandon and just kind of the stability he brings there in the kicking operation?
Yeah, obviously, keeping him we think is significant for us. His consistency that he had last year, the leadership that he started to bring to us, the more he was in our locker room. So we hope that we can get some work out of him this spring and then get us consistent play throughout the year next year. It's good to know we have our kicker coming back in this year.
What does that do for the stability of that group too? With Daniel, Matt, kind of having that battery all together.
Yeah, and we think it's a good battery. It's a young battery, except for the old man and McManus. But he's really good in the weight room. He's really good as a leader, Brandon, and so he plays like he's a young guy. I've told him I want you to think about yourself as being 22 and find a way to have the best year you've ever had. But to keep that battery together, the snap, the hold, and the kick, and then certainly the snap, the protection from Matt, and then to be able to get our punter going in the right direction. It's going to be a great year for him. Really thought he played well last year. Really, we gave up one bad play. It wasn't his fault, and so I'm expecting him to have a heck of a year.
What do you think McCole Hardman can give you as a returner?
Well, certainly he's got great experience in the league. He's been really productive in both at punt and kick returns. So we're looking forward to him competing with some of our other guys. But it's good to have a veteran presence back there that's made big plays before.
Is Keyshawn still in that picture, or if I know he said after the season he probably has changed his mind since then, since the rule changed?
Well, again? I think him and I both, as well as other players, were not in a very good mood after that particular game. And going into that press conference, we've had conversations. So in my mind, he's always going to be in the mix, and we'll see how it works out. But again, it's a new year. Hopefully, we got past the part of where we played poorly and did some poor things. We never get to talk after we didn't get to talk after the San Francisco game. We didn't get to talk after the Philly game, and so here we are going into the next year. I'm still, I know what we did poorly in that last game, and so I'd like to think we're going to be as good as the next play and try to move on and grow from the last play. I think Keyshawn hopefully will do the same thing.
What do you think of the new kickoff rule?
Again, now the thing I think that's good for us is we've had a year to go through it. We've seen some of the things that we did really well on both ends, the kickoff and the return part, and some things that we did extremely poorly on the kickoff return part. I think we as coaches have learned a lot of how we can give our guys in the return game some more tools to probably get themselves in a little bit better position. We're actually waiting for the new rule. They're going to give us 3 float players now, but we're not 100% sure where they're going to be able to line up. So I think we have a conference call on Wednesday with the special teams coaches and the officials to kind of get exactly how the new lineup can be with that 3rd float player. But it's here to stay. The UFL switched over to it this year, so I think hopefully we'll get better at giving our guys a little bit more tools, especially in the return game. I thought we played pretty good on kickoff to get some new tools to get a little bit better in the return part, the blocking part for sure.
Rich, what do you think you got from a special teams perspective in the guys you drafted?
Well, we're all excited about the draft, top to bottom, and then there's a good group of, undrafted free agent guys. It's a little bit too hard to tell right now. We had a bunch of walkthrough stuff during the rookie mini camp, and right now today they were just, drinking through a fire hose a little bit, trying to figure out where to line up and where to go. But it's a talented group. Obviously, we have some return possibilities, and the 2 young receiver guys that we got that have both done it before. So, some of the linebacker types and defensive end type guys that we drafted are going to be expected to, compete to play some spots for us in the kicking game.
You got some openings there too. I mean, with you lost some key guys with Valentine and so on. Just how big of a void you have to fill with some of those veterans leaving in free agency.
Yeah, I think it's going on the 4th year now that we've talked about that, right? Especially in the kicking game. Special teams guys have to be ready to adapt and adjust, and new guys have to come a part of what we're trying to do, and they have to understand the standard, understand the expectation of how they're expected to play. We've been fortunate here that everyone's played some role for us in the kicking game. Usually we've had starters that have played anywhere from 2 to 3 phases for us, and I think we expect to keep doing that. But we'll have enough people to evaluate that can compete for us in those positions of places that we lost guys.
Can Welch and Simmons help you in that regard?
We hope so. We were excited about getting him. I loved him coming out of school. I think a lot of us did. We followed his career a little bit. He's a big, fast, physical guy that can run, and he's made plays before, so we're hoping to put him in position to help him help us. So we're excited about having him.
Was he used in a lot of different ways in New York? I mean, it sounded like he had a pretty good experience playing special teams with the Giants. Was that what?
I think
your
so.
assessment
The
was?
tape we watched of him coming out of New York, he played special teams the last 2 years for them and did some good things. He had the big block field goal, where he jumped over the center and with A-gap made a big play. And he's made some other plays as well on defense also, even if you go back to Arizona. And I remember him, specifically coming out and all the plays he made, being a guy that moved around all over the place on defense at Clemson. So we're excited about having him here. He said, last week was good, and today was another good start for him.
Rich, I think it was the day after Nate Hobbs signed here, he told a story about how you, quote-unquote, changed his life after he got arrested. You brought him in. What are you guys getting in him in both person and football player?
Yeah, Nate, again, it was his rookie year. We went through it's a long time ago, I guess, but I just think he's a really talented football player. He's a lot bigger than you think until you get up there and shake his hand. He can really run. He's a physical player. He's got great length. And, he's played multiple positions. He's played in the slot. He's played outside. For us in the kicking game his rookie year, he was all over the place on kickoff, played outside at flyer on punt. So all that being said, what you've seen at him on defense, we've seen some of those in the kicking game as well. I just think we're getting a really good guy that loves football and loves the opportunity to compete. And, he's back with Keyshawn. That was a good thing at one time. And now we have certainly the leadership of X and the play of X back there. So we're expecting really good things for Nate.
What brought you back again? Was it an easy decision, or was there some contemplation on your part?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had tremendous conversations with Coach LaFleur and the direction we're going, and I felt like I've failed him at times in some of the things or in the ways in which we've played. So I have a certain standard and expectation of how we're supposed to play in the kicking game, and I'm really excited about being here and being back with him and having the opportunity to win a championship. It's the only reason really we get up and go to work anymore in the NFL. There's really one game. You want to go and win that one game, and fortunately I've had a chance to do that. And now once you do that, then I just think you come to work every day with the mindset of that's where you're going and that's what you're going to do. And that's my obsession, that's my personal drive, that's my personal ambition. And I feel like this is a great place to do that, and I owe it to him to give him my best all the time. So I'm excited about being here, and I'm excited about the opportunity in front of us and the team that we have and the direction we're going and the path that Matt's forging. So I'm excited to be on it with him.
How do you feel like you failed them?
Well, I just think we've given up, 4 big plays in 3 years and 3 seasons, and I think each one of those plays, it just happens to be so magnified because of the way we play that it's, to my thoughts, it kind of costs us the game. We played really good in the San Francisco 49er game in the playoffs, but yet Keyshawn did fumble, although we recovered it, but we missed a big field goal, right? Go to Philly, we start the game, we got a fumble, and then we got a missed field goal, right, by a guy that hadn't missed really all year. In the Chicago game, we give up a big play, which we should have been ready for in that game. So it ends up being at the end, we kick a field goal, but we still didn't win the game. So I just have a high standard for what we're trying to do and the way in which we're trying to do it. And I feel like that's kind of how every game, we have a one-play mentality in the kicking game. You don't get 3 downs to make it right on offense or defense. You get one shot to punt that ball, you get one shot to kick it off, return it, and so on. And so I think in that manner or that sense or that standard, that's kind of where I feel like we've failed them at times,
On the flip side, how much do you help in-game decisions? I mean, obviously, you've got your assistant head coach title, and we see Matt talking to you a lot when there's decisions to be made. How does that operation work?
I think we've grown together better as time has gone on, as the seasons have gone on, and so hopefully this will have a chance to, be our best in that manner. We have a lot of conversations before we get to that, as practices are going. But he's got a lot going on, calling the plays and having a pulse of what's going on in the game and defensively and all that. So I think our relationship has gotten much better over the 3 seasons, and I expect it to keep growing in that direction as well.
I know Isaiah had more defensive responsibilities last year, but still, how valuable is it to have him back, McDuffie, just with what he, the knowledge base there?
Yeah, again, I remember he was one of the first calls I made after watching all the tape when I first got here. So he's a cornerstone, I think, here is what we're trying to develop as far as teams guys, and a guy that goes above and beyond for the team. He's always putting the team above himself, and so it's good to have him knowing he's going to be around for a while. I expect him to be a great leadership. He's always the power of example by the way in which he does things. He always does everything right. So it's exciting to have him back, especially not only on the field, but in the locker room, his presence and the way in which he goes about his business. It's really good for the young guys to watch him.
Rich, Bill asked you why you came back. How much longer do you want to keep doing this?
Yeah, I don't even really know why that keeps coming up. I appreciate the question, and a lot more people seem to know about my age than I do. Coming to work and seeing the players fills my cup. And, I always say this. I say that the number one job of an assistant coach is to serve the head coach, serve the players, teach the players how to serve each other. When I don't feel that way in the morning about coming to work, I'm just not going to come. But I don't get that sense. I just, all I think about is coming to work and being around players, I mean, it's a fun job when players are in the building, you know what I mean? I guess there's a bunch of X and O's and stuff you do, evaluation process and all that in the off season. But when you get to come to work and you get to see the players and you can draw energy from them and you can teach them how to serve each other and you can put a plan together and then watch it come to fruition. Or you get a guy like Nate Hobbs and he says something about how he feels about a coach or a relationship you may build with a player, then it's why you come to work. And until that wanes, I've been married, been with her 42 years, and I don't think she wants me home. So that's another good reason to stay.